Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing super well. This is just going to be a super quick painting video. If you have seen my December bullet journal plan with me, I did mention that I'd upload like a separate video on my first time gouache experience that I made for the December cover page. So I used gouache paints that I purchased from Amazon. This is my first time ever using gouache, as I mentioned. So yeah, I will make sure to link everything down in the description below, just so you guys can check it out if you want to. So I'm pretty much coming from like a watercolor background. I love using watercolor, and that is like my main medium that I'm really used to using. So initially I thought that gouache painting was gonna be a breeze. This is just because I'm used to adding water to paint, but this was a completely different experience because obviously the paint is way thicker and you just have to get like the water ratio on point just to make sure that you have like a really nice, not too thin but not too thick consistency, so more of like a buttery consistency. But yeah, so my idea was more of like an evening sky, so I wanted to add some more peachy tones to show like a slight sunset. So I started off with like really light blue just because I didn't want to go in with a super dark color straight away, just in case I made any mistakes. And you see me kind of doing that here, and I really struggled with getting that buttery consistency of the paint. I definitely struggled blending the peach color into the blue, and I started to get a little bit frustrated. I tried to add some white on top of it, but it just kind of made it kind of grayish and it just wouldn't blend very well. So I figured out pretty quickly that I had to work more on making sure that my paint consistency was good before I put it on the paper. So I did watch like a bunch of YouTube videos, as you do, just to try and work out a little bit more. And I'd say like after a few hours I was somewhat okay with the sky for time being. So I then went on to add the lake part of my painting, which you see here. And I had like sketched an outline of like a bridge across the lake and a house and some trees in the background. And I felt like I was happy with the lake straight away. So I went in to make the lake much darker. And I used that same darker blue to darken up the sky. And then I added more of like a darker peach as well. So yeah, I wasn't completely satisfied with my sky, but it didn't look awful, and I pretty much came to terms with the fact that I wasn't going to get it right straight away. And for me to be that hard on myself was a little bit ridiculous because it is something new that I'm trying. So yeah. So I then moved on to the trees, and I watched some more videos, and people were kind of using like a fan brush to create evergreen looking kind of trees, but that didn't work for me. I feel like the brush that I had was way too soft for the texture that I was trying to achieve. So I did come off camera to try and figure out the trees because they just weren't going right. I couldn't figure out what brush I should use and what technique I should use. So once I figured the trees out, I actually forgot to press record on the camera. So yeah, that's why it kind of just, like, as you'll see in a second, it will kind of just skip to the trees being completely done. So I use more of like a stippling motion with a roundish brush. I don't exactly know what they're called, but like I said, I'll link them in the description. And a dark green for like the foundation of the trees, and then for like depth and highlights and some realism, I mixed like an olive green and then a greeny yellow. So I did notice that as I went along in the painting that I was dipping my brush in the water constantly, just trying to make sure that I had the right consistency of paint, and that was like necessary to do. So I do have like 2 jars of water. One I used to just mix my paint, and then so I kept that one pretty clean, and then the other one was to just wash off my paint to go into a new color. And then I also noticed that the mixed colors were drying out super fast, so like every 5 minutes or so I would just kind of spray them with water to keep them wet. Then I just went in with like a detail paintbrush and finished the house and the bridge. Sorry you guys didn't get to see that either. I added some clouds and just some highlights just to make everything look as realistic as I could make it. But overall I love the finished painting, and as far as the paints go, they are really well made and very affordable, and I'm really looking forward to reaching like my full potential with these paints. I have so much more to learn about it, but I am really loving that journey. I do plan to do some more little videos like this, or just like sceneries and landscapes or whatever. and just show you guys my journey and my experiences with the paints. I really think honestly that if anyone wants to try gouache paint, just kind of go in with minimal expectations, because it is something new, so there are going to be a few hiccups along the way, but it is very satisfying once you figure it out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Subscribe for more content and like the video. That really helps me out and it really helps out the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.